life is that there's always a story connected to a cabin. It's never unmarked. It's never just a neutral space. And if there isn't a story, someone will make something up. It's fascinating. I can just say that I've collected photographs from all my colleagues because everybody I work with in Oslo has a cabin. And so I asked them to give me pictures, and they all gave me pictures, but they didn't just give me the pictures, they had to tell me the stories. And why cabins, why they mean something to them, and why they have a cabin there and rather than somewhere else. So where their cabin is in relation to their own sort of personal history is extremely important. And in these horror films or these crime films, it's the story, it's the narrative that's connected to the cabin that's important, and that's what forms the thread. And even you see that even in the Lake of the Dead with the story about this Tore Gråvik in the film, and always Gruvik, I think. It's this backstory that sort of creates that activates the criminal behavior in the film. I mean, you sort of get the sense that Björn would have been okay had he not sort of had this model of a man who killed his sister. So the backstory is a really interesting role in Rugby's film. The other thing that we see is the cabin is kind of a little fortress out there. It's this outpost, if you will. And it's interesting to see how it functions in relation to crime. Because unlike kind of thinking about sort of the English country manor crime story, you know, where does the murder take place? It usually takes place within the house itself, in the closed room of the text. Here, the cabin is sort of this little fortress. And there's a great quote from the novel, The Lake of the Dead, where the narrator, Bernard, is saying, "In front of us a lively fire crackled in the fireplace. I felt like this was some kind of defensive measure. We barricaded ourselves behind a wall of coziness." And this idea of coziness, koselig, koselig, or hyggelig in Norway, is extremely important. Norwegians spend a huge amount of time trying to make things cozy, and it's a sort of defense mechanism against threats from outside. And I have a couple of still shots from some of the films. This is from Dead Snow, and this is sort of an iconic image where you see the cabin in the dark, the lighted window. You get exactly the same image, more or less, from the Troll Hunter, with this sort of blue filter to make this eerie mountain light. And if you recall from The Lake of the Dead, you have that thunderstorm event, and they're looking out the window, and they're all sort of inside, and then you get the infiltration, the threat from without coming in, where Bernard meets the ghost or whatever he thinks that he is. In The Troll Hunter, you get the same thing. There's always shots taken from the inside through windows in these movies. I'm not sure if you can see the threat here, so I'll highlight the threat for you. There's the troll. And he's coming towards the cabin as they're all inside and freaking out, and the camera person's got the shaky camera trying to film this troll. In Dead Snow, the threat from without is easier to see. It's Nazi zombies, or zombie Nazis. The backstory here is that the kids on a vacation have discovered a small chest of coins, of treasure, basically from the Nazi occupation of Norway during the Second World War. And by opening this little box that contains a treasure, they also then revive this army of zombies who then attack, trying to get the bad of this film. It's a splatter film though, so I'm not showing you any sequences, you know. But anyway, here the threat is much more immediate, and you get this inside-outside thing through the window that happens all the time in these films. The other thing that's interesting is these thresholds, and you'll recall the opening sequence from Lake of the Dead, and I was actually going to show you a minute of it, and then show you a sequence from this other film, Dark Woods, to show sort of why I think it's remade. So we'll just show this again. Don't worry about the sound. I don't have it texted, so it's that you've already seen it. I just think it's interesting, the open door, the coming to your cabin and finding it open at a certain point here. So this idyllic cabin with the sod roof. And then the door opens creepily. There's the creepiness. We do need to talk about the bird. I'm only showing you the bird, the magpie, because in the wild, or the dark woods, they managed to integrate the bird in the creepiness of the cabin that is not locked. So I just wanted to remind you of the bird in case you possibly forgot before we move on to this next sequence, which is basically the same setup, where you have the group of people, the group of vacationers, in this case a film team, who arrive at the cabin, and then creepiness ensues. So let's do Dark Woods. They've struggled a little more now. They're out of shape. You notice if the lock is missing. Bird. Anyway, so the corpse, just to get corpse in, for Mr. Spruce, and we're in the lake, and then in the dark woods, there's also a corpse that ends up in the lake. And it's interesting that the corpse then again is never in the cabin itself, it's always in the more, this folklorically tinged place, which is the lake or the pond, which there's a huge body of folklore in Norway about I think it's translated as nix, is that right? Does that mean anything to you? The creature that lives in lakes and ponds. So that the body ends up in the pond is sort of connected to a long tradition. And then there's the annex. And I'd said that the cabins were sort of had an erotic overtone, but that sort of changes as they become family spaces, vacation spaces, places where groups of people are vacationing together. So you have to move the erotic element out to the annex. And so in these two fields, in Dark Woods then, you get the seduction scene takes place in the woodshed. And what do you think happens to the people who have sex in this horror film? Because this is another convention.
They die.
Of course they die. Well, actually, in this case, it's only the man, which is sort of a
Which
twist.
is unusual, yes.
It's usually the woman, right? And then in Dead Snow, you have the most ridiculous erotic scene imaginable, where you have it's the outhouse, prominently displayed all the toiletries. An incredible scene, I and obviously these two are the first to be offed by the Nazi zombies. Right, so I don't quite know where to go with this. I'm just leave it here and open for discussion, if that's all right. I don't really have much of a conclusion other than to say that these spaces seem to be
this film that looks so ridiculous to us as we see it has an enormous sort of resonance that goes both back in time, tapping into older traditions, but also something that contemporary filmmakers and audiences are actually really intrigued by and sort of picking up on and using. So it's a very productive, culturally productive film, although ridiculous, as I guess how I would characterize it.